Revolution Radio.
Good morning, everyone. This is your host, Nikki Tetsi, from East to West. Now, today, I have an amazing guest, all the way from Russia. His name is Vadim Starov, and he is President and Chief Instructor of the International Training Center, Systema Spetsnaz Russian Style Hands-to-Hand Combat. And it is basically a no-contact combat form, for those of you who don't know what that is. He is a specialist in biosensory psychology, instructor of the traditional Russian breathing method, which is a healthy way of life, the author of the method, Reserve Human Abilities in Extreme Situation. Also, he does course instructor for Special Forces. That's prevention and survival in extreme situation. He's also combat instructor for the Federal Drug Enforcement Units. He's a member of Russian Veteran Union of Special Forces. It's called Monolith and Vipil. Now, Vadim Starov was born in Russia and a family military tradition, so his father was also the officer of the Russian army. So you can see he has many training in the military lifestyle growing up. It is a pleasure to have Mr. Starov here with us live. So I wanted to explain a little bit of what mind control is before we go in further. Okay. Now I just picked this up randomly. Okay. This is from Wikipedia. So it's nothing that's quite what I call, official, but it does give a basic information of what mind control is for those of you who are not familiar with it. Okay. Mind control is also known as brainwashing, cohesive persuasion, mind abuse, thought control, or thought reform. It is referred to a process in which group or individual systematically uses unethically manipulative methods to persuade others to conform to the wishes of the manipulators, often to detriment of a person being manipulated. The term has been applied to any tactic, psychologically or otherwise, which can be seen as subverting an individual's sense of control over their own thinking, behavior, emotion, or decision making. Okay, theories of brainwashing and of mind control were originally developed to explain how totalitarian regime appear to succeed systematically in indoctrinating prisoners of war through propaganda and torture techniques. These theories were later expanded and modified by psychologists, include Margaret Singer, who explained a wider range of phenomena, including conversion of a new religion movement. A third-generation theory proposed by Ben Zablocki focus on the use of mind control to retain members of the new religious movement and cults. Okay, so the suggestion that these new religion movement use mind control technique as a result in scientific and legal controversy. So, and it goes further to explain in the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay, explain brainwashing as this was also used in the Korean War. It's used in many war. Okay, to let's see, okay, to brainwash people. Okay, okay. Let's end with that. I think that's a pretty good information to start off with, and Hans, do we have the, okay, I see we have Mr. Starov is ready. And can we bring Gina as well?
Gina's already in. She's standing
perfect.
by.
Okay, wonderful. Now, first I'd like to introduce Dr. Luba. Dr. Luba is a medical doctor here in the U.S., and she's a Russian, and who will be translating for Mr. Vadim Starov for us this morning. And good morning, Good morning, Dr. Luba.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. So are you ready to jump in
Oh, yes.
and start? Wonderful.
I also enjoy your show. Absolutely ready. Yes.
Thank you so much. And I know you have some information on the website. Will you make sure post that for us on the screen and below, and then we'll be able to send that off to the chat room as well. For those of you who are just visiting us, we are 100% listener support station that made possible by your generosity. So please remember to go to that donation button before you find your comfort seat and listening to this show. Okay, so Mr. Starov, are you with us? Let's bring him in.
Hello, Vadim.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, Vadim, can you please turn on your Perfect, much better. Good morning. How are you? Or good evening to you.
Добрый вечер, да? У вас же вечер сейчас.
Доброе утро. У нас вечер. У вас утро.
Yeah. And for you, good.
And how is the weather in Russia?
Как погода в России?
В России тепло, хорошо в России.
It's nice and it's warm in
Wonderful,
Russia.
wonderful. Great. And okay, so let's go into the conversation of mind control.
Мы будем сейчас говорить о контроле самосознания человека и контроле сознания другого человека.
Окей.
So in mind control, it's vastly used since wartime, and now it's been used in a normal population. What are some of the methods that have been used?
Понятие как контроль сознания человека, сознанием человека, другого человека, обычно стало применяться более широко после войны. Сейчас это более широкое понятие, оно чаще используется сейчас в обычном разговоре. Ей хотелось бы знать, какие методы используются для управления сознанием другими людьми.
Чтобы научиться управлять другими людьми, нужно научиться управлять самим собой, своими мыслями и своими эмоциями, и также своим телом.
In order to control somebody else's mind, first of all, you have to learn how to control your own mind and how to control your own emotions in order to successfully control somebody else's mind.
So how do you start controlling your own mind and your own emotion?
Каким образом вы начинаете контролировать какие методы существуют для контроля своих эмоций?
Для начала нужно научиться войти в гармонию с самим собой и с внешним миром. Подобное притягивает подобное.
So first of all, you have to be in a harmony with yourself and also in a harmony with the surrounding, because the similar attracts similar.
And does that require lots of meditation and for one to seek spirituality as well?
Вы говорите о том, чтобы человек занимался больше медитацией и также искал какую-то спиритуальность, эзотерический опыт, духовный опыт.
Духовно-эзотерический опыт прошлого поколения и последние достижения науки и техники в области нейрофизиологии и информатики, а также квантовой физики.
Yes, the most important is to study from the previous generation that has been already developed. It's a knowledge of esoteric and soul emotional development, and also to use the latest achievement in the quantum physics and esoteric science and scientific methods.
So that means one would have to develop psychic abilities at advanced level.
То есть, чтобы управлять самосознанием другого
Is that
человека,
correct?
нужно развить в себе вот именно такие знания, именно духовные, эзотерические знания, да, какие-то для того, чтобы успешно управлять другим человеком.
Dr. Luba?
Yes?
Okay, I feel like I'm back. I think there was a technical glitches there. The question is, so one would have to attain advanced psychic abilities in order to understand the esoteric and the soul level, and also incorporating it at the quantum physics. One would have to be at an advanced level of psychic.
То есть человеку нужно достичь высшего уровня психических и духовного уровня для того, чтобы управлять самосознанием другого человека. Правильно?
Триединство сил – духовных, физических, интеллектуальных.
Yes, also it's more important to have from three different aspects: physiological, spiritual, and emotional. It's all three supposed to be developed and to be in a conjunction together.
So for someone who wants to learn about mind control, how long would you estimate would take to learn to be at that level?
А чтобы достичь такого уровня, сколько времени, вы думаете, примерно человеку потребуется для достижения этого уровня?
Для достижения первого начального уровня управления своими внутренними физиологическими процессами требуются, или же методы психофизической саморегуляции требуются в районе года постоянных занятий.
In order to learn or reach the first level of control of your own mind and to control your own physiological processes, you have to spend about a year of study and training.
And is training in seclusion, in isolation?
Это обучение должно проходить в изоляции, где-то в отдаленном месте, в уединенном месте.
Это система, рассчитанная на среднеевропейского человека, и возможность ее применения как в домашних условиях по пути следования на работе и в статике, в динамике. В среднем это 15-20 минут в день, но постоянно.
No, the system is actually been developed in the mind of ordinary civilian, average European person. You have to practice every day, constantly, about for 15-20 minutes. When you sitting at home, you're going to work, or you're at work, so you don't need to be in a seclusion.
I see. And so for the first year, does it involve psychotherapists, an intuitive person to help and guide you in dealing to resolve the emotional aspect of an individual, to cultivate the cleanup of the emotions?
Во время подготовки этого года, в течение года тренировки, нужен ли вам человек для того, чтобы помогал и каким-то образом направлял ваши эмоции, может быть, очищал ваши эмоции, для человека, который хочет достичь этого уровня?
Есть поговорка, пословица, как в России, так и во всем мире. Самоучитель без учителя – это мучитель. Нужен инструктор, наставник, учитель, который дает занятия.
Yes, there's a saying all over the world that if the self study without the teacher, it's actually like a torture, because you definitely need somebody who will guide you and who will train you and help you out.
Okay, and hold that thought for a second. I would like to make sure that our listener who are just picking up the show as we are airing right now, that because of your 100% listener support, you made it possible to bring Mr. Vadim Starov, who is directly from Russia. He is an international, well-known president and chief instructor of the International Training Center of Systema Spetsnaz Russia-style hand-to-hand combat. Okay, and Mr. Starov has a systemized and improved psychophysiological research study in regards to theory and practice of activation and use of reserve human abilities. That's method of training for the system of reserve human abilities in extreme situation, mainly is based on doctrines of Russian psychological school and also on the prior scientific research of the military institutes and application of special forces. Okay, so he has been trained in Russian-style combat, Sambo, Systema, and boxing. At age 23 years old, he graduated from Military Academy of Air Missile Forces. It's called Marshal Berzov, where he served in special operation units. And he uses the method of scientific approach from a position of physiology and neurophysiology of the person. Training exercises are based on research of Dr. I. Schultz for pilots of long-distance flights and spiritual knowledge received from huge cultural heritage of ancient Russia. And that ancient Russia, had he mentioned, I believe, is from the Slavic style. So we are very fortunate to have him here this morning and to have Dr. Luba taking her time off to translate for us this morning. So doing the emotional, what's the next step? You mentioned the physical aspect. How do we condition our body to be ready to practice mind control? How do we condition? How do we shape our body?
Каким образом мы можем подготовить тело, когда вы говорили о физиологической подготовке человека к этому уровню, как можно подготовить тело как другая ступень развития после эмоциональной подготовки?
Первое – это расслабление. В природе все живое – это расслабленное. Нужно научиться. Расслабленное тело – это гибкое тело, гибкий мозг и отсутствие энергоинформационных зажимов.
So first of all, you have to learn how to relax, because everything alive in the world is in a very relaxed state. So first you need to be very flexible and very relaxed, because when you very flexible body, you have very flexible emotions too.
And how does part of the Systema training train you to be flexible on the physical level? Does that mean using yoga or Qigong?
Ваша система готовит ли именно тело для такой подготовки? И, например, нужно ли заниматься, например...
Okay, do we have a connection? So please excuse the technical difficulties we're having. We are connecting from Kentucky to California all the way to Russia. So we apologize for any technical difficulties at this time. So please stand by as we are fixing this problem. And we are speaking with Mr. Vadim Starov, who is a trained specialist all the way from Russia. And as I mentioned earlier, he is internationally well known all over the world. He has trained people like movie stars as well, and that have come to Russia and where he trained in private sessions. He has brought an enormous contribution of knowledge to the development of crime prevention and safety measure of the person within their daily life, applying the methods of training within the Russian-style combat. Since the Russian Style Center opened their door in 2001, more than 300 various seminars were taught for civilian security and bodyguard application in countries like Latvia, Slovakia, England, Germany, France, Italy, USA, and Dominican Republic as well. And summer camp for young teens have been organized under the state program Patriotic Education of Citizens of the Russian Federation in support of building strong mind, body, and spirit, guiding the youth in positive directions. Mr. Starov has published a number of articles and book Russian Style Combat. It's called Path of the Warrior. So I think you guys can Google that. The educational concept of the book are adopted for special forces and cadets of military schools, as well as instructors of various martial arts. The book was reviewed and recommended by the head of Educational Institution of Russia, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and Department of Physical Education. Okay. He also has DVD out for those who are interested. More than 25 Systema Spetsnaz instructional DVDs are available. Okay, covering various topics of Russian style hand-to-hand combat. And I think this is really amazing for the people who are in the military, police, security, who would like to vamp up, upgrade their physical skills. He will be coming here in the U.S. to provide these training for you. It is a very, very special time that he provides this because it's very expensive to travel to Russia to learn this technique. So Dr. Luba and Mr. Starov are working in coming here to the U.S. We wanted to bring him here and to provide this amazing training for the people in the U.S. Is
I
Dr.
think
Luba
we have
back?
Dr. Luba
Yes.
back.
Oh, wonderful. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so do you remember the question?
Yes, I do.
Or did we lost you?
I will repeat the question.
Okay.
Вадим, у нас связь плохая была. Значит, каким образом можно подготовить тело для того, чтобы достичь вот этого уровня после того, как были подготовлены эмоции? Hello, Вадим, вы слышите меня? Can you hear me?
Окей, я слышу. Первое, расслабление – это открытие как энергетических, так и информационных каналов. Расслабление тела, расслабление психическое, расслабление физическое, расслабление психическое, духовное, информационное. То есть это некое состояние вакуума, это состояние приемника. В дальнейшем состояние концентрации – это передача.
First of all, you have to learn how to relax your body, your emotions. Basically, you will open up your channels. It's for spiritual channels and physiological channels. And the second one step, it will be concentration, that you will be able to move the information to somewhere, like transistor.